Hi, I originally shot this video in August 2020 and it was in my early days of videography. While it lacks the finesse, it does contain material of interest and I've re-edited it for this, my new channel. So I do hope you enjoy it and find some use from it. So in one of my recent videos I talked about going out without the camera and just generally exploring. Now, I did that a few days ago and came across this area of wood up here along these hill strips. It's at the other end. And there's really big ferns there and they've already turned a golden colour. Now, it might be a case of that they're dead from last year because a lot of these ferns around here are on the turn, but they're nowhere near as advanced as this just little section. And the trees are very uniform. It's a managed forest, but I reckon if I can shoot that in golden light, I should get a really nice scene here with the golden ferns. The trees have this slight redness to them as well, so I think that really bring out the red in the trees. I'm travelling as light as possible today. I've had to bring my full tripod here because the ferns are quite tall and the other tripod doesn't come up high enough, and I'm a bit concerned that it'll just be ferns and none of the trees. So I want to try and get above that, so I've had to bring a tall tripod. But yeah, some of the other gear that I carry, especially for shooting the B-roll, I've had to leave behind. Filming on my phone basically. So I just want to talk a couple of camera related things. A couple of things that I've picked up over the years. I generally use a tripod. So what is best is just keep your tripod plate on your camera all the time. Just leave it on so that you never forget it basically. The amount of times that I've got, well, it happened once or twice and then it never happened again. Go out with your tripod, you get it up, set it up, and you realise you can't attach your camera to it, and you've just realised you've carried it for no reason. So yeah, just keep your plate on. The other thing is I don't use a strap. They get in the way. I don't like it around the neck. It just bangs around like this. I generally carry it just like this, just down by my side. When it gets tired, I just carry it like that with my left hand. And that's fine for me. If I'm not using it for an extended period of time, it just goes back in the bag. I used to have a little, well, I still have it, a Peak Design camera clip that just goes there and it just stays there, but because I'm now using an L bracket, it doesn't work with that, so I'm just using it how I always used to use it. And the reason I don't use this strap is it nearly cost me my camera once. Putting it out of my bag, tug it, this launched. I was in Scilly at the time, gone down for 10 days or something. It was the first day, and it was this new lens. It was a different body at the time, and it went down the slipway and it was disappearing down into the sea. Just stopped short, fortunately. Broke my polarising filter. Fortunately not the lens, but it's still an £80 polarising filter. And here's my next tip, is always leave the lens hood on. Okay, leave that lens hood on, it will protect your filter, it will protect your lens as well. Okay, well, some of you may wonder why I use a tripod. There's a few reasons. One reason is that I like to shoot with a slower shutter speed because it allows the sensor to get a little bit more information, a little bit more colour information, a little bit more shadow information. When you give a sensor a really fast, quick exposure, it's not necessarily going to gather all that information so accurately. The other reason is it really helps you focus your composition. I quite often go around first just with the camera and just try and set up a scene roughly, and that's when I get set up the tripod in that location, and then I fine tune it from there. So that's pretty much why I use a tripod. I do go out handheld sometimes, but to be honest with you, when you get home you just wish I had took the tripod, to be honest with you. Clarity can be a bit of an issue, any slight hand movement. Sometimes you have to bump up the ISO because you have to shoot at quite a fast shutter speed, and that can introduce grain where you don't want it. So on the whole, I generally use a tripod. something I'd recommend you do as well. Don't get a really cheap tripod. They're really not worth it. Get yourself a decent one. I use Manfrotto. There's plenty of other makes that are just as good, if not better. Well, I've arrived, and as you can see behind me are the ferns. The light is looking quite good at the moment, and I might start shooting very soon, before the golden hour even. I've got plenty of time. I'm going to have a walk around, see if I can find some find a composition first. So let's get on with that. Yeah, I had to just take the shot really quickly. The light is changing really fast. I think I made a mistake of coming here in the evening. I think with the sun overhead we would have had the ferns lit much better, but I did manage to catch a little bit of light on the fern just there, with the trees in the background. But I'll put it up now and, you know, let's have a look, see what it's like. Well, I don't think the light's actually going to improve this scene, so I think I'm actually going to head back home now. Might as well. Once that sun gets down lower, it's not going to light these ferns. So I think I might have to come back here another day. But until I get home and have a look at the image I just shot, I don't really know. But, well, that's it for this week. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, please. And I'll see you next week, hopefully.